Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today for Vertica Unify 2021. Today's breakout session is entitled How Two Financial Services Firms Are Transforming with Data Analytics. I'm Jeremiah Amaro. I'm a Senior Industry Product Marketing Manager at Vertica, and I'll be your host for this webinar. I'm joined by Mr. Hazar Tuna, Head of Internal Audits at KKB, Mr. Erkin Simsek, Project Manager at BELBIM, and Ms. Bilge Durasats, Business Intelligence Manager at BELBIM. Before we begin, I encourage you to submit questions during the virtual session. You don't have to wait, just enter your question into the Q&A box on the right-hand side of the screen. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We'll answer as many questions as possible during that time. Any questions we don't address, we'll do our best to answer offline. Alternatively, visit the Developer Lounge to ask additional questions and continue the conversation with our engineers and product experts after the session. And yes, this virtual session is being recorded and will be available to you to view on demand this week. We'll send you a notification as soon as it's ready. Please stick around for the code to gain points and participate in our Analyze to Win competition to win prizes. Now let's get started. First, I'd like to share a little bit about the state of transformation in the financial services industry. Few industries managed to escape the customer revolution of the last decade, but financial services was one of them. Despite that, customer expectations have shifted dramatically, and COVID only exacerbated the underlying problems for many firms, particularly firms that heavily relied on brick and mortar and physical customer interactions. So none of this data should come as a huge surprise. Only 3% of bank executives are confident their institution has taken measures necessary to protect their business against disruption. Only 5% of financial services firms are using all of their data to make customer-centric decisions. And over 60% struggle to deliver consistent service across all channels. A lot of those challenges come down to how they're managing data. This is data from a couple of different IDC surveys. They found that 60% of financial services firms find increasing diversity of data types challenging or very challenging. Over half are struggling with increased distribution of data or data silos. A lot of their challenges come from their long, slow march to the cloud. Many financial services firms were running monolithic applications that couldn't easily be lifted and shifted into the cloud. Others were struggling with what data should be in the cloud versus what should remain on-prem. And the result is that many financial services firms have found themselves in hybrid scenarios with a mixture of on-prem and cloud environments and data volumes that could reside in a data lake or a data warehouse. Vertica offers a path forward for financial services firms who are in the process of transforming. One of the biggest challenges in becoming customer-centric is unifying disparate customer data sets. Whether that data is stored in an HDFS or S3 data lake or in a structured format in a data warehouse or in on-cloud or on-premises environments. Another critical component for firms is moving from real-time to predictive analytics. Customers expect a higher level of personalization, and for a lot of security, risk, and compliance use cases, it's not enough to just be real-time. Firms need to be proactive and anticipate threats in order to protect their customer assets. And finally, an analytics platform should have no limits in terms of scale or performance. Vertica unifies disparate data volumes, eliminates scale and performance limits, and helps companies move towards real-time and predictive analytics. And these are the reasons that a lot of financial services firms worldwide choose Vertica to transform. These are just a few of the use cases that our financial services customers are pursuing today. As you can see, analytics can drive value across operational and business use cases, from improved customer experience to security, risk, and compliance, which are all areas where Vertica's capabilities shine. And now, let's hear from two financial services firms who are pursuing their own transformation initiatives with Vertica. First, we'll go over and hear from Mr. Hazar Tuna at KKB. Over to you, Hazar.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Hello, everyone. I'm Hazar Tuna. I'm the head of internal controls in KKB, the Credit Bureau of Turkey. I'm going to give you a little brief about who we are and what we do. KKB is the only credit bureau in Turkey. We facilitate risk information between the real sector, finance sector, and legal authorities. And we were established in 1995, and the company was about 30 people up until 2012. And during the period of 2012 and 2013, we went through an enterprise transformation and also a digital transformation, which led us to have over 140 products and services which need to be audited and controlled daily, weekly, annually, or monthly. The challenge with working in such an environment is that the company being 500 people now from 30 back in 2012 and from 20 products and services to 140 plus services, especially with support groups, is that even if the company is 500 people, the most population you're ever going to get as a headcount is going to be 10. So the problem with that is even if the products and services are using the same tables, same databases, and same infrastructure, they're still all different domains and they require different approaches to auditing. So the challenge with our situation was that we needed more senior auditor confidence, but without the headcount. So as a solution, what we imagined was that, what does a senior auditor do? So senior auditors, when they approach a subject, use two things. One is the rules of the actions that are taken, and second is their personal expert opinion. So as a solution, we took these two pieces of information and decided that our system needed to be an automated system that could approach challenges with rule-based solutions as well as machine learning-based solutions. So, this is what we had in hand, and our challenges were that we had multiple SQL trace logs that were not humanly possible to read, basically. And we had a ticketing system integration, which is part of the rules of the actions within our company. Then we have the CM logs, and then we need an Active Directory integration so we can decide so we can identify who the actors are on all these different platforms that we're trying to control and audit. Looking at the challenges and requirements, we came up with a solution where we placed Vertica in the heart of our application environment. And the reason we chose Vertica was that there are two reasons. One is basically the cross-platform functionality of Vertica, which gave us the possibility of using lightweight, robust machine learning capabilities of Spark. We could use Kafka to consume the amount of data that we're supposed to handle. We could use Parquet so we can age our data and keep it and then return to it when we needed to check into what our analysis were. And then we also wanted to have a nice visual user interface. And at that point, we wanted to use Tableau, and Vertica was very easy to integrate with all these systems. The second reason we want to use Vertica was basically decreasing development costs, and what we needed for that was extensibility. So user-defined extensible functions of Vertica was a huge plus for us in choosing this platform. As I mentioned before, one of the reasons we picked Vertica as the heart of our system was the UDXs. As you can see on the screen, the Python UDX basically allowed us to use our API services just like tables without importing them into our databases as tables. And we also needed high performance integrations from our analysis, and we didn't want to dive into really complex C++ stuff. So we could use the Java UDX to manage our database connections and our queries. So the second reason why we placed Vertica in the heart of our system was basically its interoperability with other systems, in which we could exploit the fact that we can use Kafka to feed a lot of information through different systems into Vertica. And also we could use the Parquet connections so we can age our data into lower cost systems like HDFS. So at the heart of our system, as we mentioned before, we want to imitate what a senior auditor does when they're auditing facts. So from historical point of view, we have our expert manual annotated data, which is from previous audits. And then we have our rules, which define how actions are supposed to be taken throughout the company. So we can put these together into tables through the Vertica Spark integration. Through the use of gradient boosted machines, we could assign scores to each action that have happened in the SQL databases. Once the scores are generated, scores can be sent back to expert auditors, in which they validate if the scores are true, which are fed back into the system to make the system more robust and more accurate. On the machine learning pipeline side, as we said, from the rule-based information, we have our synthetic data, which has a weight of 1. The challenge here was that throughout time, auditors changed their point of view. Like, for example, let's talk about the pandemic situation. For COVID-19, VPN connections were analyzed in a different way. Of course, using expert manual annotated data brought new challenges. Our rule-based data was there statically and always correct and a guideline for our audits. But what we want to do finally is reach the level of an expert auditor's opinion. So we want to feed the system with historical new opinion sets. So the problem with this is that throughout the timeline, auditors' perspectives and risk analysis change over time. So what we need to do was to differentiate between young and old instances of manually annotated data. To do this, we start the human annotated data through its life cycle with a weight of 5, and we age it into a weight of 1 through 90 days, so that newer data can have higher impact on the outcome of our scores. You can look at this in a like pre-pandemic and post-pandemic way. Basically, before the pandemic, VPN connections had a different meaning as a risk. But now in our everyday lives, VPN is a general connection activity where the auditor thinks VPN connections are more regular activity, but within the VPN connections, there could be higher risks. So in this case, in an older audit where VPN connections could have been of higher risk values, while their contents could be lower risk, now we look at it in a different way where the VPN connections themselves are very low risk, but the content of the VPN connections can carry a higher risk. This is why we came up with the methodology to age the human annotated data to have a more robust model. So what's ahead in the future for KPB? Right now, our requirements allow us to work in an enterprise mode, Vertica instance, but in the future, as more services and products are created and more customer data starts flowing in and there's more user interaction within the firm, we're going to be looking into more dedicated processing capacity, and we'll also be looking into more storage capacity, which will probably lead us into switching into Eon mode and have a more scalable system than we already do right now. Thank you for your time and listening. We hope to see you in the future, and thank you for your time. Now back to you, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Hazar. And now let's hear from Erkin and Bilge at BELBIM.
Hi, I am Bilge Dursoy from BELBIM, Manager of Business Intelligence and Reporting Department since 2019. I'd like to give some summary information about BELBIM and its journey from the establishment. BELBIM has founded in 1987 to provide information technology support to Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality and affiliate companies as well as county municipalities. In 1994, Smart Ticket, which was named Akbil, was used for the first time in electronic fare collection system. By the time, Akbil usage was extended, used in ferries, metro, public buses, and trains. In 2009, İSTANBULKART with contactless technology was introduced with the acceleration of digital transformation, and it was used with Akbil. In 2040, Akbil was repealed in favor of İSTANBULKART and the period of Akbil has ended. In 2050, BELBIM has changed into electronic money institution. In 2060, İSTANBULKART has become an electronic money card that can be also used in shopping and has expanded beyond being a massive transit card. Transforming from mass transit card into the electronic money card provided usage of innovative technologies. Then İSTANBULKART has become available in all venues of the city. In 2019, İSTANBULKART Mobile has launched for the first time. In 2020, the mobile application has renewed with new interface, digital wallet and QR code pass payment features also added to the application. In 2021, payment with QR feature was added. QR payment feature increased the number of usage in sectors other than transportation. Transferring all the features of the physical card to the digital card, it is now possible to install top-up orders with web, terminals, mobile application, and also add non-transport payment points. İSTANBULKART roadmap. Conversion from transportation card to the city card, we had some milestones, checkpoints, or decision points. At public transportation physical card period, we had delivered numbers of projects to have a sustainable and better manageable infrastructure to increase productivity, efficiency, to reduce costs, to increase savings. At physical card period, we had also stepped into non-transport area, marketing facilities, etc. Digital transformation period. At digital transformation period, we have launched new features and functions such as digital İSTANBULKART, mobile wallet, and QR payment. We increased numbers of digital channels, increased non-transport market share, and increase corporate services and add new customer segments. New projects, new partnerships such as new cities and geographic expansion in transportation. FinTech Open Banking period. In 2021, we will launch new products and features such as new financial services. We will start to study on Open Banking project. BELBIM aims to transform into a digital bank or mediate to transfer transactions between customers and banks. Conversion from transportation card to city card. By expanding our non-transport payment network with our collaborators, we are on the way to become the city card. We have tripled our usage in non-transport payment amounts by increasing payment and top-up points. We are growing also. We have numbers of new partners and collaborations with leaders of the sector such as markets, retail marketing, brands, etc. Payment via QR code provides discounted card profile recognition, tracking for up to 5 transfers, and distance-based pricing. At BELBIM, there are 398 different cards, which means 398 different products. We have special services and solutions for different customer segments. For example, during COVID period, we have issued health employee card, which provides free pass to health employees at Istanbul. Mom card is a free card for moms who transport with her children. And Halk Bakkal project is a retail marketing project where low-scale markets can be defined as a point of sale. İSTANBULKART in numbers with metrics, you can see top-up points, payment points in 2021 and 2021 April. Our transportation network, payment points by numbers and metrics, you can see our transportation network. We have retail partners, corporate partners, application centers, help desk points, İSTANBULKART mobile with numbers, you can see, digital communication, 28 million accesses, 640,000 interactions, and goals and projects in 2021. İSTANBULKART will become available on İşbank physical post devices, BELBIM and Carrefour, which is imported markets, will be added to our network. New design will be launched, and open banking projects, microcredit projects, negative balance schemes, and etc. We will renewing our design, and we will have new brand face in 2021. We renew İSTANBULKART mobile application with new features and financial functions. Our journey with awards in 2020 and in 2021. We have attended those organizations and considered worthy to these awards, which makes us feel proud and happy. And this is the end of my part. Thanks for listening.
My name is Erkin. I'm reporting to Bilge. We are in the same department. Now I will talk about the project details. BELBIM run an automated fare collection, we say AFC in the short form, system via more than 56,000 terminals. As of 2021, with the addition of city card agreements, like partnership with food card providers, number of terminals are now actually more than 100,000. But how we managed this? Like, actually, we didn't purchase new terminals. Together with simple software integration, we enabled our İSTANBULKART to work on those food card providers terminals. So this way you can spend your İSTANBULKART amount on those terminals too. So suddenly your card is available to work on another 50,000 terminals. You don't purchase, but you enabled your card to work on those terminals. Now we are servicing Istanbul Metropolitan City transportation fare collection with more than 500 employees. And we are now enlarging our experience system towards other cities as well. In this way, we only place new terminals at other cities and define their tariff codes, their city codes, and so on. The system works as that city's fare collection system. Therefore, we can easily say from here that we have a data flow enlarging every single day. Of BELBIM's 40 departments, 34 use to retrieve reports from 24 plus different sources applications so far. Number of distinct reports that run on our old mirror database and production system before our new BI project. We will talk about this mirror database and production system, old production system later on. Regular basis was 180. Number of reports on demand was 300. And so there were some operational reports from various Windows applications. Now in this project, we wanted to create some reporting system that provides all these management reports. In terms of project motivation, let me explain how we decided to start everything actually. Before BELBIM BI, we had almost no reporting infrastructure. I say almost because we had only this mirror database created, which follows the production system as day -1. It comes from the back. So every night it used to replicate the production system and add new data incrementally. Most of historical data was followed via that database. Other than that, written day reports or real-time, near real-time reports were not possible to provide. Like we wrote here, users needed to retrieve reports from production system with queries and organize them into Excel files. So as everybody guessed, this was a very painful process. Actually, a high number of reports were asked to business intelligence and reporting team, where Bilge is the head. She has 6 dedicated people now actively working in the department. Actually, I'm also reporting to her, but I deal with the project management side. other 6 people, generally coding SQL queries on reports requested by other departments, since not every department are allowed or skilled to write their own SQL queries. So somebody asks for a report, so our team works on it. That's why BI department, biggest department I mean, now the team give everything to these reports. And after that, due to this, it was very unfortunate that actually due to this immense effort of our friends, they were not able to focus on intelligence part of the department. Only reporting was running with one foot injured, in my words. Accordingly, and not surprisingly, due to this manual effort, queries were bringing a giant load to production environment. It may take a couple of hours or one night, actually, sometimes, to get your report if you typed all the fields necessary at a time in the query. As a side effect of manual preparing of reports, there were no standard business rules. With the expansion of our business scale, also centralizing data has become our main focus in this project. Let me go over a little bit tender process, because we are a governmental institution, let's say, as a municipality, so tendering is also our crucial operation. A typical official tendering process, bidding process, let's say, took place. Bidding budgets and the proficiency metrics of each candidate company were evaluated in detail. Turkcell and now Global Maximum as partners came up with the most appropriate offer in November 2020, I think. Early project plan milestones were created. It was a really tight schedule of 5 months. Then it's a little bit changed. After that, early analysis phase started immediately. Okay, new architecture with Vertica. Now, actually, how we planned everything in the background. We don't see these as end users, but these are the most important part of the project. I want to summarize here very smoothly. We have 3 essential parts in this architecture, actually. Hadoop, Vertica, and Tableau. Hadoop is used for historical data here. In other words, we say cold data. This cold data that we would like to age and not to report very frequently is stored in this element. In this way, we are now saving reporting infrastructure from a big load. Vertica owns a very significant role. It is placed on the analytical part of the project. Ad hoc queries that require pace and high performance run on this platform. In addition, with the powerful integration of Hadoop and Vertica, data flow in between Vertica and Hadoop carries out pretty fast. For now, in BELBIM, all our data that we have built so far in terms of reporting runs only on Vertica. By the time, some of them that we will call cold data will be transferred to Hadoop for less frequent use, as we mentioned. Another element is Tableau. Tableau is a front-end reporting product. It has very useful functions for reporting and ease of use for end users. You can create your own reports by drag and drop function over your data warehouse objects. But why Vertica here? I want to talk a little bit more about it. As you see on the right side of the page, Vertica now, unlike other similar products can run commodity software, which means that it is hardware independent software. You can create your servers and place Vertica on those nodes. Generally, what we call similar products come with their own cabinets, so you are not free on choosing your hardware. But Vertica provides this opportunity to you. Secondly, Vertica is able to expand according to your needs. Today in BELBIM, we started with 4 nodes in BELBIM BI, but with our enlarging data structure, we will need more nodes in the future. So Vertica will keep running on 8 nodes, 10 nodes, 11 nodes anyway, with a linearly increasing performance. The more nodes, the higher pace for Vertica, we can say. In terms of columnar storage, we actually mean Vertica, actually, even though Vertica is also a relational database system, it can easily perform in big data environments. In many SQL platforms, when you select the data, the database is checked out fully, and the info you requested is brought as per your criteria. So it actually runs on the whole information in that database. However, in Vertica, you don't have to worry about pace because while you watch the same type of data tables, in the background, all columns are stored independently. So when you select the data, only those columns are checked and info is extracted. It sounds a bit like indexing, but truly different system works in the background. Required software elements are included. As you see here, it's written battery is included. Vertica provides universal ANSI SQL support. It also gives you the ability to apply machine learning algorithms without extracting data to other platforms. So you stay inside, but actually you apply the most tiring algorithms. So with the built-in machine learning algorithms, we can predict next month's card usages, can cluster our customers, etc., with very high performance. So far, we didn't come this point, but later on, these studies will be done. In this spatial analysis, we say it's actually for geographic data. You see here spatial analysis under machine learning icon. It's for geographic data. So far we didn't use, but actually, as we know, Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, other departments use this spatial analysis. To sum up, I would like to specially thank to Global Maximum here, since they came with this to-the-point solution with this architecture. Because when we collected all our needs in the tendering process, we had said them the architecture should be expandable. We will start small, but then can expand it. So Vertica provides this by expandable infrastructure. The higher nodes, the higher performance, as we already said. The project must start economically low budget, but perform nearly like big data systems. Again, now a columnar storage function of Vertica gave the solution. It should have fancy reports with user-friendly front end. So Tableau was the solution here. Finally, Hadoop was a good solution also, as we already know, so we didn't hesitate about this element too. Let me go over a little bit project plan. In our project plan, we planned everything to shrink in 5 months first. But when we faced our database mess, it was inevitable to postpone some milestones. So new live date is now 7th of July 2021. Okay, what we did so far. From inside out, these are the layers, names of our layers of our reporting platform. First, we centralized all our sources in a separate database called extraction layer. Then we turn these mesh data to well-structured data warehouse. After that, publisher layer is the one step back from Tableau part. Tableau part is the front-end side. In publisher layer, you should have your data object extracted from data warehouse. ETL layer collects data incrementally and periodically according to your need. Every cycle ends in less than 2.5 hours now. So you click on the button and you get all your data in a night, in less than 2.5 hours. Finally, reporting and BI side is Tableau software environment. Let's share some dashboards on BELBIM BI. You see some fancy report here. Actually, we were running this basic simple columns on a production environment. We turned it into a very nice report on the right side. This is from our BELBIM BI product. Okay, before we were using 3 different sheets. Now we merged all these reports in one report now in BELBIM BI. In a couple of seconds, we get all these data. Now we were using maybe more than 3-4 hours to manage everything into 3 Excel file, but now a couple of seconds are okay for generating this report on the right side. IDC CIO Best Change Award. Thanks to IDC for their decision to award our project. I may say a couple of words here about what were the main drivers of this project. First of all, top management of BELBIM support was very crucial. You know, there are many companies in the world who barely got the permission from bosses to invest in something, but in the road, in the middle of the road, they neither feel that they are good to go or nor feel like they are free on their decisions. Luckily, BELBIM management was quite supportive in our project. This was the first important support, actually. Eagerness of departments were also pretty important because they're actually the owners of the reports. We have worked together with all departments in BELBIM, and none of them was unsupportive, we can say. In terms of having a system for reporting, now we have leveled up from 0 point the first level. We didn't have any reporting platform so far, but now we have. Next steps should be improving and going through our business needs. It was nice to be pointed by a worldwide association like IDC. What we plan for phase 2, other sources to be integrated. As we mentioned, we have an increasing size of data and still there are sources to be integrated. So we still have a lot to do in terms of data source integrations, streaming scenarios and continuous data loading. In the near future, we plan to integrate Kafka to Vertica. In this way, we would like to provide real-time reports. In machine learning and predictive models part, no doubt that an AFC company, automated fare collection company, in Istanbul city scale, do need machine learning models for better interpretation of its business. So that's also another goal of ours. Thank you for listening. That's all from us.
Thank you, Erkin and Bilge, and thank you for listening to our presentation. Now we're ready for Q&A.